We got another basketball player on the radar that I'm really excited about and some underdogs. Let's check out and see who are some big-time underdogs this upcoming football season. You don't want to miss this episode of Locked On West Virginia.
You are Locked On West Virginia, your daily podcast on the West Virginia Mountaineers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, guys? Welcome back in. My name is Mountaineer Paul. I am your host. This is a late night Locked On West Virginia, where we're talking some basketball, talking some football, and praying that we get the basketball player. But other than that, let's acknowledge the channel sponsor as always. FanDuel is going to be the person that brings you this episode. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. But you have to go to FanDuel.com to get started today. I appreciate you guys for joining in on this late night episode. Raven, welcome in. Eric, welcome in. Haas, welcome in. So what we're going to be covering here. So I got some intel today, very similar to the Pat White story when I was able to break that. It was an accidental in a lot of ways, but so I can't reveal source on this one, but I am aware that West Virginia is involved with the player. Now, here's the thing. It's a very fluid situation. Georgetown, there's a few other teams that I've been told that could be involved here. But I want to be clear when I say I am not saying West Virginia is getting this player. I'm not saying that West Virginia is for sure going to get him or anything like that. I'm just letting you guys know that West Virginia is interested. Contact has been made. And he's one of the best players left available. So, in my opinion, West Virginia needs to, if they feel like he fits, go all in, because I've got a good breakdown on this player for you guys. I did one earlier. So, here's what happened. Unfortunately, I did a show earlier. My microphone went out on me, and I didn't know it. And so what happens on YouTube's algorithm, it's proven fact. If you don't catch the viewer within the first 60 seconds, you almost always lose them. So while that video didn't perform as bad as I thought it would, it's not performing great. So I thought, man, a lot of people probably didn't hear that because I had it in the second segment, because I didn't want to put it out there like it was a big, like we were getting him or anything like that. And, then I thought, you know what? I can do whatever I want. It's my show. I source this information. Just because nobody else is reporting it yet doesn't mean it's not going to happen, just like with Pat White. And at the end of the day, I'm making you aware of what could be here. So let's jump right into this. This is a kid that I really like. I was actually going back and forth with somebody on X about him who questions his defense, his toughness, and different things. So I'll be getting into that too, because I kind of disagree with that narrative, but I also see where that guy is coming from. And like I said, we'll be checking out some underdogs here in just a bit that I really like. And then I've got some more tomorrow for you guys. Be looking for Clay Ash tomorrow. I'll be talking about him. I found a little bit of tape on Clay, but not a lot. So I'll be watching some on him. A very dynamic, jukey back that we have in a just crowded backfield. So be ready for that too. And let's get to it. If you don't know who Ryan Hornish is, shame on you. You don't watch college basketball. You're a casual fan. I'm just kidding. Ryan Hornish is a dude with a capital D. And I guess I'm probably stealing that from the guys over at Three Guys. But so who is he? Well, last year he was one of the best players in all of Ivy League. That's just all there is to it. He is probably best described. What would be the best way I would describe him? Because he's a three-level scorer, but he excels, obviously, at some other things a little better than some others. So catch and shoot situations, let's go there first. I talked about it earlier, 64% in catch and shoot situations last year, which was 94th percentile, which is insanely elite. Very few people hit that last year. 17.4 points per game in the Ivy League. Went head-to-head with Xavier Lee, who was getting $6 million from Florida. I watched that game earlier, the entire game. He went head-to-head with Zamian Lee and held his own in every ad. Zamian Lee was clearly the better player on that day. Not saying he's on that level, but he went bucket for bucket with Zamian Lee from Princeton, who Florida just picked up and just reported a couple hours ago is getting $6 million in NIL money. If you count what Florida's giving him and what he's getting from some shoe company or something like that. So offensive rating was 96.7, which is a little above average. Usage rate was 31.9, which is a lot. Obviously he played guard for Dartmouth. He scored in double digits in all but one game, which is really good. And he fills up the stat sheets in so many different ways. And this is why, what did Bob Huggins always tell us, y'all? Rebounding is a part of defense, right? I mean, it's simple, but forgotten in this day and age. And I think, you look at the guards of the past that we had that were really good rebounders, and Mike Gansey is one I use a lot, or even a Deshaun Butler, even though he was more of a small forward. It was in addition to good defenses they played. Well, this kid here isn't an elite on-ball defender. He's a good on-ball defender, in my opinion, in the Ivy League. But what he plays extremely well is passing lanes. I would say he's very, very good there. He has great timing when he tries to attempt to block shots. You see, for a kid his size, who's 6'4", around 180 pounds, 190 pounds. So he does that well, but man, does he rebound the hell out of the ball. And that's something that tells you he's got some toughness about him. Rebounding is a toughness game, and this kid does it and does it well. He had several games with high amount of rebounds this year. He had a 28-point game in a 76-64 loss to Cornell, a 25-point game in an 84-83 win over Brown. In a separate game against New Hampshire, he had a season-high 5 steals, 17 points, 7 rebounds. How about against Vermont? 23 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists. So he literally does every single thing you could ask a player to do. He plays good enough defense. He plays the passing lanes extremely well. He had multiple steals in several games this year. He jumped his scoring. And he's on the ascension, in my opinion. He went from right around 7 or 8 points a game to 17 points a game this year in 1 year. So he's obviously on the ascent. Somebody's going to get a very good player in his last year this year. So like I said, 65% effective field goal percentage in the 94th percentile on catch and shoot shots. He had 8 threes deeper than 25 feet. 49% of his shots are at the rim, 35% left above break threes, and 37 at the elbow, which is interesting at mid-range. Right above break, he shoots right around 32, and he's at 37 from the left elbow. In transition, he scores right around a point of possession, which is, 20% of the time or so. As a ball screen handler, he's probably 1 point per possession, somewhere in there, which is about average, maybe a little below. Like I said earlier, weakness is off the dribble shooting. So if he's got to put it on the deck and pull up, he's not the greatest there. Basically the opposite of Trey Eaglestaff. Eaglestaff comes off the deck like nobody's business and can spray it from anywhere. So he's an Ivy League star looking for a new home. Could that be West Virginia? Well, let's watch a little bit of tape on him as we discover some of these abilities that he has, and they're very good, especially when you talk about him as a shooter, guys, and we're going to get there now. As you see here, I talked about, this is the same tape we watched earlier. He's more quick than he is explosive or fast. And what he does is he uses angles. He uses the triple threat position, which is, do you know why they call it the triple threat? Because you can pass, you can shoot, or you can dribble out of it without even having to move the ball anywhere. The triple threat position is right here, or if you're left-handed, it's right here. Or if you're right-handed, it's right there on your right hip. And then you use that pivot foot, and you use your hands, and you use your eyes to try to gain separation by feinting, by faking, by hesitating. And this is what he does extraordinarily well. And players that don't have elite athleticism, he's got good athleticism, by the way. Like you'll see one where he dunks in a little bit where it's pretty nice. It's not mind blowing, but it's like, okay, he can actually do a little bit. So, but what he does is it's not old man game, but it's a similar thing where it's like, okay, I'm not the most explosive guy, so let me use a little something else. And you'll see it here in this first play out of the triple threat position, which I find to be very important. Boom. And he goes by. So you like to see that. That's one of the ones I showed earlier as well, because it shows his knack for scoring a little. So as he comes off the screen here, can you imagine him with Brennan Lorient coming off this screen? Screen is set. It's really not even a great screen. He gets doubled. They run into each other. And instead of just using that advantage to go and score 2 points, he slows down, allows the contact to come to him, forces it, and gets an N1. See, watch him slow down, let the contact happen to him, and then he finishes with his left hand even. Another nice three-point shot, which is what he does the best at. We talked about this. 65 percentile. That's an incredible shot. There he is with the left hand at the rim. So he can get to the rack, like the guy I was talking to earlier kind of tried to compare him to Sean McNeil a little bit. And maybe he meant defensively, but this kid here is no Sean McNeil at all. Sean McNeil didn't do this. That's not Sean McNeil. He did occasionally, but this kid does a lot. And it's not with a bunch of, now that's a deep three, a very deep three. But, I mean, you look at it, I mean, he's really, really pulling that thing, man. And this is in transition. So this is on one of those catch and shoot opportunities. And just look at that form right there. Beautiful form, definitely balanced, and very good wrist control, which is what makes him such a great shooter. And there he goes again, that triple threat, right? That triple threat, we talk about it. And it's such a quick move because he's such a threat coming in transition or as he's, as his momentum is approaching the top of the key. Watch him use that to his advantage, like he's going to pull up in a shot. Instead, he just uses a pivot foot and jukes the guy out of his shoes. Boom. And it doesn't look fast because it's not, but it's just it's a trickster kind of move, So it'll be interesting to see how this would project in the Big 12 because obviously maybe not as well, but I do think he would still find ways to score. And the thing is he's a 24% assist rate. And here's the dunk I was telling you about. So it's not like he's a porous athlete. I mean, if you're not a good athlete, you can't do this right here, right? In a game setting, right? And this is over top of, you got two big guys coming at you here, right? And look, you got two guys coming at you. Most guys lay that thing up, but he had the confidence to go slam that thing in. So, like I said, good athleticism, not elite. And he's so good at reading the floor, coming off the screens, using the left hand. But here, he starts to get into some of his passing bag, which is very good. And like I said, 24% passing is well above average. You're getting to the very good to elite categories with that. Anything above 20 is like, oh, yeah, that's good. And you'll start to see some of that. Obviously, we know he's got that shot, and that comes with him. So, if this kid were to come to West Virginia, would he start? Would he come off the bench? Probably off the bench, but I could see a role for him in the starting five if things went a certain direction. Like I said earlier, maybe if Honor Hupp doesn't work or, one of the other players maybe isn't working out or somebody's hurt, this is a great player to have. And, you look at him, he can score it, man. He averaged 17 a game last year. So that's my biggest question is, would a kid like this come in and come off be your sixth guy off the bench? I don't know. If you pay him, maybe. It's an interesting conversation, really, because I think he has some the potential to possibly start, but it's right there on the borderline because it's basically we already have a 2 in chance in Honor Huff. Trey Eaglestaff's going to play our 3. Brendan Lawrence going to play our 4. And so he's either going to play the 1 and bump out Jasper Floyd or nothing, basically. Or Honor Huff moves to the 1 and he plays the 2. And that could maybe happen because he's more of an off ball probably. But, I mean, he's got such a good assist rate, and and you see here, he's such a good passer that I could see him playing the point. He's just not an explosive attacking the rim kind of point as much as he is like you would see more things like that right there rather than getting all the way into the rim. You would see more stuff like this where he's maybe not getting so deep into the guts of the paint. So it's definitely going to be fun to watch. And there's a couple passes here like this one. Like that's just a beautiful pass. High IQ. You got the trail man coming in. You're getting doubled. This guy should be with this guy, but he decides to pull off and double you. And you're thinking, okay, we got the length advantage and him saying that, watch the beautiful pass, splitting defenders. That's what you like to see, man. So a lot to love here with this kid. And I certainly think that he would be a great pickup for West Virginia. We'll see where it goes. I know the staff has been in contact. Outside of that, I don't know, guys. So continue to watch Ryan Hornish and let me know down below what you think about his game. And we'll go to break really quick and be right back. Talk about some football. We'll be right back. And this episode of Locked On West Virginia is going to be brought to you by FanDuel. Well, the NBA is here. We talk about it all the time now because the playoffs are in full swing and every night delivers highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, and can't-miss moments. And whether it's a game-winning shot, breakout player, there's never really been a better time to get in on the action. FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game before tip and after live events. With our player props, performance trends, same-game parlays, fans have more ways than ever to play smart and win big. How could a $200 in bonus bets add excitement to your first $5 bet? If it hits, it's going to make you want to play more. New to FanDuel? If you are, you can sign up now. Head to FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet. If it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets and making you a winner. So do me a favor today and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NBA. It's segment 2, and I am going to crack a do here. Brand new do. If we get Ryan Hornish, it'll Baja my blast to the sun. How about Baja blast my ass up into the sun? I needed that. My mouth was getting dry, guys. I went over that segment 16 minutes, man. So that's a little bit too long. All right, let's get into a couple other things here. I told you guys I would show you this tape the other day, so that's what we're going to do in the second segment. It's late, so I'm going to show you guys a couple other players that we brought in this year that maybe you haven't seen yet. And we're going to start with Braden Siders. I don't know how many of you guys have watched him yet, but man I can't show this clip. Doggone it, guys. I didn't realize it till just now. I could show you this. When was this from? This is too old, though, guys. So I'm going to apologize here. Let me see if I can get to. Let's see. That's FS1. That's CBS. That's CBS. If I play any of these, it'll flag me for sure. Unfortunately, I can't play these. I'm sorry. I thought they were off-brand. They are not, so we will move on. Braden Siders is obviously probably going to start next year, so I don't even know if you would consider him an underdog anyway. I hadn't showed his tape on here yet, and I was rushing at the end there, so I didn't get the chance to. But let's check out Derek Carter. The other day, I think I gave you guys the option of watching the safety or the corner, and you guys went with the safety, which was Darian Lewis. We're going to go with Derek Carter now. So there are people out there that think that he could be a Really good player for us this year, and I'm in agreement.
But a tremendous job over there by Derek Carter, the right corner. He was rolled up as a short corner playing the short area, beat up the receiver, got him out of the way, and then came and made the tackle. That is tremendous.
All right, so Derek Carter is one of those dudes, man, that, there's switch as well. Good Lord. As long as it's not on there for any longer than a second, I'm good. As you can see, he plays some sticky man. He's really physical with receivers for sure. He plays, one thing I've noticed is sometimes he'll get, guys will get a step on him. This is the case here, but here he is down below. This is press man coverage, I believe. Yeah, press man coverage. And you can see he's got a little step on him. In the Big 12, this could be completed, and maybe in some cases, but he really catches back up to this ball and makes a play on it. So that's nice to see. So, and I obviously you can't say a guy's slow from one clip, but every now and again, if you're watching up at his film, he will sometimes the guys will get a little step on him. That's me being very critical because he's a good player. And I think West Virginia brought him in to possibly start out as the other corner opposite Michael Coates. But there's competition in that room now. There's a lot of bodies in that room for sure. But I like Carter as one of the guys in that room. He's definitely a sure tackler. Here you see him here, just really sticky man coverage. Really knows how to play the ball in the air, especially knows how to swipe through defenders' arms, and that's just a picture-perfect tackle. Watch it again here. The head, that you don't like to see the head down like that, unfortunately, but their strike zone, the strike zone is like this big these days. But if you're talking about where the helmet is, it's on the ball side and the shoulder, right? You put the shoulder and the head on the ball side. Shoulder strikes the midsection. That's all you can really ask for these days because anything else is almost a penalty. So that's a pretty good tackle outside of the wrap up. Here, this is a pretty long run against Jack State, but looks like he made that tackle. Here he is outrunning the there was really no blocker. I guess they're expecting him to cut this way. But he makes that play and defeats the blocker. So that's a good play too. I thought that was him out there. So he's getting physical here. This is a much bigger player than look how much bigger this guy is than him. This dude looks to be 6'3", maybe bigger. And he really battles with him here. Watch him go back and forth. Boom, boom, boom. They're just giving it to each other, and he makes the play. That's impressive there. And that's one of the more impressive plays I've seen from him. Look at this defense hustle, man. This is what we're going to get. A lot of these guys are high motor guys, which is what Rich Rod has a lot. That's just a football play there from Derek Carter. Here he comes in. He reads the screen, comes in and makes a great play. Love that one too, man. He's good I'll tell you what, he's good at defeating blocks for sure. Very good at defeating blocks, which you're going to need in this day and age. So that's Derek Carter. Like this, got a chance to be one of our starters, I think. There's a couple guys in that room, obviously, that for those of you asking about Discord is a chat where a lot of the people in here, but not only just in here, from X and other places around Mountaineer Nation, go in and listen. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not the most active in there right now. I'm probably in there once or twice a day because there's not a lot of intel. But typically when things are really rolling, I'll drop in there a couple times a day and drop in some good intel. There are people here that can say that, I would say, I don't know. I'm probably in on, let's give for those of you in there, for those of you that are in the Discord, how many percent of the time do I come in, before something's public or, with some intel about something that could happen later? Obviously the big one is, I don't mean to bring it up again, but the Pat White one was obviously probably going to be, I don't know if I'll ever beat that. And I had sources for that even tipped me off even to know about it. But other than that, I mean, as far as when it comes to players who can come to West Virginia, West Virginia's looking at, like tonight with this player here, even though he may not come to West Virginia, I'm giving you one piece of intel that he's been contacted. Now, that may not materialize in anything, and he may never mention the Mountaineers in his life, but now you know about him and you can keep your eye on it. So sometimes it's not as valuable as other times, but there'll be times when I come in there and say, hey, so-and-so's about to commit, right? And like I say all the time, almost anybody can do this. You just have to have some doggedness in you. And, what we have a saying here, Raven knows it well, 7 days a week. Very rarely do I take a break. I've taken 2 days, I think 2, maybe 3. Well, I went in the hospital there for a couple of days, but I think I've taken 2 or 3 days, counting the hospital since October of last year that I didn't record one day. So, I really come at it pretty hot and heavy compared to some other people in this space that maybe have full-time jobs. This is my full-time job, and I treat it that way. So then the same thing with Intel, and I'm always attacking it and looking for different things. But I slack off sometimes and miss things as well. But point is, it's a little long-winded to say, if you join the Discord, you're going to find out some stuff that you might see it in another chat room for sure. I'm not saying I'm the only person that gets it, but sometimes I get it first. Sometimes I might be second or third or fourth, but I'm working hard is all I can say. And I'll never lie, that's the other thing. And I got people that'll back me up there too. Like, I will never just come in and say sources said something to me. If I say it, it's years and years and years now that I've been able to kind of build some credibility, at least I think. So I've worked real hard at that because it means a lot to me. All right. So appreciate that for that question, though. I don't really promote the Discord probably like I should as much. So that was a good time for me to be able to do it. All right. So appreciate it, man. It's 11 o'clock. We got 200 Mountaineers in here. That's pretty good for 10:50 at night. I'm pretty proud of that. Let's go to a quick break, 6 seconds. And when we come back, we'll look at a couple other players. We'll go through some more tape. We got 2 more guys to look at. We'll be right back. All right, guys, we are back here on Locked On West Virginia. Talking West Virginia football, absolutely, because that's what we love. Obviously, who else is thinking about it this late at night, aside of us, the crazies. So, Dvonte Nelson is a player that is going to battle Derek Carter for spots, in my opinion. And I like his film a lot. He's another Akron player, much like Darren Lewis. And he is he's played against some good competition too. Akron plays some big boys, man, at times. And you look at him against Ohio State here, sticky. Good play out of knocking Egbuka out of bounds there. Here he is against Rutgers. So he's got good film against good players. As you can see, this is the receiver here. He'll make an in cut across the field, and that's as sticky as you can get really in coverage, and he knocks that out with the arm. So you like to see that too. I think this is the other angle. I think I've slowed this one down before. He might get there a split second before, but it's almost simultaneous. It is. I mean, the football is 6 inches away from his hands, and watch him get this right hand around and poke that thing out, So you like to see that. And even if he didn't poke it out, there was definitely some momentum that knocked it loose. And he's putting on the seatbelt and stomping. And I like that. I like that in my corners and my receivers specifically. I love to see that passion. You got to have it. Corners and wide receivers, especially a different breed. They just have to be uber competent. It's just the way it is, man. So they like to see that too. Here he is against the Ohio Bobcats last year, which was a really good football team. As a matter of fact, I think they won. Now, that's a beautiful play there. So as you can see, I believe this is in, let me make sure. So zone coverage here. And I think they did play a lot of zone here at Akron, but you can see him here at the top of your screen. So what he does is he reroutes the receiver. And this is probably the second or the third read for the quarterback. You got one. It's a second read. So, he's in a good place here. He's on the receiver's hip, but watch the play he makes on the ball. He just undercuts it so perfectly. He's got his eyes in two places at the same time. He's got him on the receiver, looking through the receiver to the ball, which is something they teach a lot. You want to look through the receiver to the ball when a quarterback's about to throw it. That way you can make a play. You can watch the quarterback's eyes and make the play at the same time. And here it gave him, this is looking like a pretty decent, not a back shoulder, but it's similar to a back shoulder. He's putting this ball ideally right here on that right shoulder of the receiver, somewhere in this range where he can get out of bounds. And he makes a good play on the ball with his, he's got longer arms too. When you look at the Golden Nelson, as you can see there. So he does a good job there. Here he is against South Carolina. So, you just look at over and over and over again, he has played top competition. He certainly got some skills. I think, he plays the ball well in the air. He definitely dislodges the ball well. Probably one of the better things he does do is dislodge it. As you can see, he gets there angry when he gets there, and he makes solid contact. Boom. And that's what you want to see. So Dvonte Golden Nelson, another really good corner, West Virginia, picked up out of the portal from Akron, who's played a ton of Power 5 opponents. I think we saw 3 here on that cut up alone. So you'll take that every day. Every day. Here he is in practice. So you like to see that too. So be looking forward to him, guys, as he is a Mountaineer, as you can see here. So it's always fun to see that. All right, we got one more here, guys, and I think I have shown this one before. We got to thinking about it, but that's okay. We can watch it again because there's probably a likelihood that there wasn't these same people in here to watch this in the past. So this is Donovan Hasslam, and he played at Austin Peay and is an absolute mountain. Look at this mountain of the human being. What do you even do against this? Good luck trying to move him out of the way. He played left tackle for them. I don't know what West Virginia's plans are for him. He is so strong. That's the first thing that shows on tape from him. He moves pretty well. I don't know that he moves well enough to play left tackle at the Power 4 level. I'm just that real. But, here's a good example of his movement, I think. Obviously, this play is moving opposite him, and he has to kind of down block just a little and get the angle on 92. And you see he does a pretty good job of that. But when he gets his hands on you, you go for a ride. And that's what I like the most about him. Super, super, super strong hands, like freakishly strong. He didn't even have the greatest angle, but get down there. Pancaked, so you'll take that for sure. Here he is here. Taking a little longer than I thought. So that's okay. That's not bad. Here he is again, taking somebody for a ride, it looks like. A little bit grainy footage. Here he is playing on the right side, it looks like, and that's beautiful, man. You love to see that. That's just washing somebody down inside, and you'll take that for sure. Now, the hole got filled and the play was made, but it wasn't because of him. Looks like he's right here. And nicely done, man. Great footwork here. Look at the footwork before he engages. If you'll notice, everybody takes that first right step together, right? if you look at the entire offensive line, everybody takes the same first step. It's pretty important in offensive line play. But it's just beautiful to watch. But as he takes that first step, watch the little shuffle and the contact. It's just, you can see he's got some athleticism to him, and then takes the guy for a big ride like that too. Now, the competition is obviously a little bit of a concern here. It's definitely not high level competition, I would say, but it's not, I'm sure he faced good players. And if we looked, I'm sure we can find a couple that he played against that maybe even went Power 4, but it's kind of hard to tell, right? And all you can do is grade the film that you got in front of you. And as far as at this level against these players, he was very dominant at times. So I like him. And this is one of the better plays you'll see on the reel. I think he enters the screen pulling. He does. Here he is. Gosh, how would you like to see a big 6'5", 320-pound dude pulling at you like this? Look at this hit right here, man. This guy right here's got no shot. Boom. Get up out of here. Touchdown. So that's nice to see. Let's watch that one more time. Boom. The guy had no chance, right? So you better push that guy back. You don't get Bosworth. For those of you who don't know what that is, Brian Bosworth used to make guys look silly in the hole. So here he is in pass pro, and there's those hands again. It's like as soon as he punches somebody, which is it's something they call when offensive linemen make contact with their hands, their punch. Look at this punch here. This guy tries to do a spin move, but his punch is so hard that it just knocks him over. Boom. So that's great. There he is again. See what I'm talking about with these strong hands, guys? So, I'm sure if we looked it up, this guy's probably a good player. Maybe he's third string. I don't know. But look when he gets his hands on him, what happens? Go for a ride. Go to the ground. Here he is in a double team. In pass rush against an edge rusher who he just absolutely dominates. I mean, no chance at all. Very good job here. Now, this kid didn't do a ton for himself. I mean, he tried to juke a little bit, and he tried to get to the outside. You're going to see a much better caliber pass rusher in the Big 12. Curious to see how he adjusts, but, let's not sit here and pretend like he had to try here. So equally, right? Even though this isn't probably, the greatest competition ever, look how easy this looks for him right here. Ho-hum. It's nothing to him. That was nothing. So, I really like Hasslam a lot. I don't know if he's going to make an impact this year or not, but, he's got the size and the strength to absolutely do it. If he can handle guys off the edge, he could be a great tackle. If he struggles there, he could still be a good guard. You already saw him pull on a couple plays. So I think he can play either. And there he is again. He gets his hands on people, and they just go flying. Boom. And a lot of times, that was on that player as well. He was trying to spin. I get that. Good God. Look at the strength. Did he drive him 20 yards down the field? Let's count. 5, 10, 13, 14 yards down the field. Crazy. You didn't see the end of that play there. That was weird. So here he is again in pass pro. I don't know. Some of these plays I look at, he's winning the battles. And I try to be honest with you guys, but on a couple of these, you see how his head is out over his feet. I just think, he gets a little out of balance sometimes. But I'm not a pro offensive line coach or anything. Maybe I don't know if anybody else sees that. Bear, there's a great example, although he's pulling the guy down. Seems like he tries to do this sometimes. And what a good pass rusher will do. Jamori Robinson. So as soon as your head does this, once your head is not what they call, your feet aren't underneath your head anymore and you get out in front of your head, that means you're off balance. And a great pass rusher will absolutely dust you if you do that. So, sometimes I think in the pass protection world, his hands are so strong, and at that level, he made there was no chance guys were getting by him. In this world, Jamori Robinson, Braden Siders, different story, man. All right, guys. Thank you guys for joining in. I will be making a phone call to, I think, make sure really quick. Let me look and make sure that's the guy. So if you're in the chat still watching, I will be calling you as soon as this goes off. I didn't forget about you. Other than that, guys, I appreciate you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Just wanted to get up and do a late night. I felt unfulfilled because I did that video earlier, but not only did I have my sound go out, I had a cicada crawling around and all kinds of stuff. So I was like, man, that's a terrible show. I'm going to have to redo it. So sometimes I'm going to have to quit leaving my windows open, man. But all right, guys, I will see you on the next one. Thanks for joining in. Hope you enjoyed it. Brett Yormark, by the way, announced no private equity. I saw Coos did a show on that earlier. I thought about covering that one because I need to do more conference realignment stuff and overall Big 12 stuff. Let me know if you guys would like to hear more of that. I would love to. It's just, I don't know if I offer the best voice in the space on it when you got John Kurtz and Coos. And so let me know how you guys feel about it. And don't forget the Discord. Join the Discord today. I'll come in and say hi to you, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for making Locked On West Virginia your first listen, for being a part of the Locked On Podcast Network. We talk about your team every day. Your second listen, you got to check out the Portal Show with Brian Smith. He's got the latest rumors, portal entries, and signings, and you can be the most informed fan on the rapid changes to college football landscape. Find the Portal on YouTube or wherever you get your podcast, and I'll see you there, guys. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a great week. I'm out.